Hello, everyone. Happy Easter. He is risen, just as he said he would be. And the last time you guys saw me, which was like 2 or 3 days ago, um, I was still in the process of joining the church. Now I am finally a confirmed Catholic who's received the sacraments, and I've never been happier. I've never felt more at peace um, than receiving the sacraments. To be honest, going into it, I thought I was going to just burst into tears after, because I'm an emotional person, and there's been numerous times where I'm shedding some tears while Father's consecrating the Eucharist. But um, I wasn't. I didn't. I mean, I shed some tears during the consecration, but after I received the sacrament, I was shocked. I was in utter shock. For the rest of the night, I still am. It's yeah. I went to mass this morning and received the sacrament again. Um, but it's something you want to keep doing, right? It's something you want to never stop doing. Um, so it's a beautiful feeling. Um, it's I love it. I love it. Darth Sidious says congrats. Thank you, Lord Sidious. Um, and congrats to all the other converts, reverts, those who received confirmation, those who received baptism, those who received all the sacraments at once, because that does happen. Um, and hopefully, um, those who maybe went to a Catholic mass today or maybe last night, even maybe they are now more open to the faith, and by the grace of God, they'll join the faith, join our church. And that's my phone going off. So, congrats to everyone who is now in full communion with the church. Um, it's just it's life changing. It really is. Happy Easter, Nazo, however you pronounce your name. I did a stream already about the news. I know there's been a couple of other stuff that's come out, but not big stuff. Um, so I I really don't know what else to. I don't know what happened. Um, Finally, we're now fellow Catholics. Also, I'm going to be putting Marcel. I'm gonna be putting the invite link to the stream and the Jedi Knight channel on Discord. So if you would like to hop in and say hello, you're more than welcome to. The sound go bye bye. Can you still hear me? Well, I accidentally pressed the button and it kicked me out. I don't know what happened. I'm back now. I don't know. I was trying to go to StarWars.com and see what's going on there news wise. Lars Mikkelsen is doing Thrawn. There's a new gameplay trailer for Fallen Order. I actually haven't seen that yet. I may watch that because I mean I just bought a Series S just so I can play freaking Survivor because it does look good. It really does. It looks a lot better than the first game. Um, I think I'll go ahead and we'll watch that. Um, if Marcel joins, if Marcel, if you join and watch it with me, I'll watch the Survivor trailer. I know there's other people in the Discord who I'm sure would love to join. We'll see. You can edit your own layout. That's kind of cool. StreamYard it's mostly the same, but there's been some new additions to everything. Let's be honest. I haven't been really reading that much EU. It's weird. I've been doing other stuff. Preparing for graduation, obviously First Communion. I just haven't had a lot of time to read. I did finish App on Flight, and I started Deceived. So, and look who's here. Look who decided to show up.
Hello. Sorry to intrude.
Intrude? Intrude on what?
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure there's people that are more capable to speak than I am. But congratulations, by the way, on
Thank you.
you're becoming part of the church anyway.
Yeah, I was a Protestant, and then now I'm becoming Catholic. So, well, I have now become Catholic. I am now Catholic.
Officially,
So,
yeah.
I've been saying becoming for 2 years now. So now I am Catholic. So, and I forever will be.
I'm still not there myself, but my mom, she's there, and it's I know it's been a journey for her, so you're up for your own trials and tribulations.
Yeah. Well, we need to work on converting Alex. He doesn't think he'll ever convert, but I said the same thing.
Well, the point is for people to figure it out on their own. It's not something that can or should be forced.
Well, of course.
If he'll convert by his own choice.
We'll see. Let's hope he does.
Where's where's Discount Dave Filoni?
I don't know. I don't know what he's up to.
Clone Trooper 2003. Hello. Yeah. I actually want to thank him because he got me a. I was asking specifically for it, and at first, Brennan Quinlan Voss was going to get it for me, but he managed to get me. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. My mom was just messing with me. uh, anyway, I actually want to thank Marcel because he got me a Google Drive copy of Star Wars Lightsider.
Interesting.
And I've
Quinlan,
never.
Brennan said he was going to help me. Still hasn't done it yet.
Well, Brennan, it was an email thing, but I was more akin to like, can I get it on Google Drive? That's just easier for me anyway. Clone Trooper 2003 is Quality Autism coming?
No, because the last time he joined my stream, I called him out and I embarrassed him, and he hasn't come back on since. So
Called him out and embarrassed him. What did I miss?
This was a long time ago. It was a random stream I did, and he just showed up, and I called him out and embarrassed him on stream, and he hasn't ever come back.
Oh man, what is Lightsider about? Well, Lightsider is a short story that Tom Veitch wrote before he passed away, but he didn't give Lucasfilm the satisfaction of publishing it. He kind of gave him the finger before he left. But basically, it's a short story that takes place between the comics Dark Empire 1 and Dark Empire 2. And it's how Luke meets Cam Shalusar. So it's pretty much an introductory story to him.
Yep. Just a tie-in story to Dark Empire.
Which is fine, but to me, it's still new expanded universe because I've never had the opportunity to check it.
Yeah, for sure. I recently picked up Boba Fett Twin Engines of Destruction.
What were your
The
thoughts on it?
I haven't read it yet. I may
Oh,
read it tonight actually. That actually sounds like a good idea. It's only one issue. Um
yeah.
I haven't read it though, not yet.
F in the chat for Tom Beach. Rest in peace. I'm reading Tales of the Jedi. He is a great Reddit. Oh yeah. And that's something I love about his work with Kevin J. Anderson. Uh, and Kevin, by the way, is from what I hear, is a solid guy. Pretty much created that whole tie-in process with Dark Empire and Tales of the Jedi. What are
Tales
y'all's
of the
opinions
Jedi
on the Knights of Melvin?
is that
I
an
don't
EU
think I've
thing?
ever heard of those.
Neither have I.
It
Look it up.
sounds like a joke thing.
Knights of Melvin.
I just know Brandon was not happy. To be fair, I wasn't either about the some of the announcements Lucasfilm made.
I was pretty horrified at what they were doing. I think the
I,
worst part about it was the heir to the empire sort of drop that Ahsoka does. It's like, first of
yeah,
all, generally
I
speaking,
expected that though. To tell you the truth,
I
I
didn't.
I had mentally kind of prepared for that. So when I heard the quote in the Ahsoka trailer, I literally just rolled my eyes, going, "Yeah, of course they're going to do that."
Well, look, here's first of all, I'm against stories like name dropping the title of their story. Like, for example, if there was a Star Wars story that said, "This is truly the Star Wars," that's so stupid. Or, I mean, in
Yeah,
what other franchise could do that? Like in The Last of Us, if I don't know, Ellie said, "This is the Last of Us." You know, it's so stupid. It's so cringe. That's the first thing. The second, and I mean, of course, the second thing, it being an heir to the Empire ripoff. That's also very annoying. Um,
it's the Family Guy meme when they drop the name of the thing in the movie and you point, oh, they said the thing, you know.
but yeah,
So yeah, I get it. It is kind of annoying. I was more upset with them putting. I don't know if you saw their new official timeline.
yeah,
I was more upset about New Jedi Order and the Old Republic. Of course, I've cooled off since then and prefer to look at the silver lining, which is, well, now anybody looking for this will come across the actual books.
yeah. If anything, this just gives us more reason to celebrate the original stuff.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, no,
hello,
no.
Marcel. How are you doing?
What's up, man? Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
How am I coming through? Am I coming through okay?
Yeah,
You're coming through
you
fine. You
sound
sound a
you
little
sound like
quiet.
Alex.
Oh, I sound like. How about now?
I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Do I still sound like Alex?
No, you'd have to get like a voiceover app to sound like him.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
how bad his audio is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that pissed me off. I did not want Ray to fight the Vong, or as they are called in Disney canon, the Grisks.
Well, what makes you think that she's actually going to fight the Vong? Also, why are we talking about this? Let's talk about something EU related.
Well, because that seems like to be the biggest topic in the EU fandom
Yeah.
right now. So,
Yeah. Did anybody hear who's coming to Legends Con?
Barbara Hambly.
I know.
I cannot believe it.
you know what?
When I heard that name, both my dad were like, "Oh yeah, her, the one behind Callista."
You know,
Long have I waited.
I'm actually kind of excited to see her go. I'm not going, but I'm excited that she's going because I'm hoping she answers some background. Like, I want to know some of her what she was thinking when she was writing those 2 books.
Well,
Like,
I'm going,
genuinely,
so
what
I
she
might
was
be able to
thinking.
ask her.
Marcel, are you going?
I want to.
Oh, so
I
that
hope
means-
you do, Marcel, because I'd love to meet you in person.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
I actually
if I can make
started
it work,
on
I'll be there.
I actually started on the Jude Watson books, so I just started on Jedi Apprentice. I'm
Oh,
on, like, book
well, the
4 or
first one is
5
by
now.
Dave Wolverton.
Oh, I know that. I'm talking about, like, I'm on book 4 or 5 now of that series.
Okay,
but
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I have like a ton of comic books for Randy Stradley to sign when I meet him. So
Yeah, I'd like to get him to sign Crimson Empire if I go. Maybe even my copy of Dark Times Volume 1.
I'm getting him to sign all of my Dark Times, all of my Crimson Empire, and my my Panel to Panel Volume 2 book.
I want to like meet Barbara Hambly and be like, thank you for making me love reading as a child.
Aww.
Even
I'd
though
love to meet her just to say, man, Callista got robbed. I'm so sorry.
No, you see, the thing about Barbara Hambly is that like it was really difficult to read her as an 11-year-old, but I really liked some of the ideas that she had. Specifically,
Oh no, she had really interesting ideas.
yeah, in Children of the Jedi, there was a lot of great ideas, but also even Planet of Twilight, there were some good ideas too.
Oh well, here's the thing. I've gotten like after like stuff like Abeloth, the Mortis Gods, and some of the weird stuff that you see in the Alan Moore Devil World comics. Anytime I see something weird in Star Wars, I'm like, this is absolutely completely normal. I didn't even bat an eye when we got to Crystal Star and what's his face Waru started talking, the sentient meat cube.
Sentient meat cube. One of my favorite characters is Waru. Lance, I saw your article on the expandinguniverse.com website, Crystal Star.
Yep. What'd you think of it?
I think it didn't go far enough. I think you need to write part 2. I
About what?
have more connections for you. Crystal Star 2, Waru Boogaloo.
Trying to reach the
What
NG over
connections?
December.
Waru has a
Started on the
mention in
X-Men
the New
books.
Rebellion and in the New Jedi Order somewhere, but that's like it, as far as I know.
Wait, Waru was mentioned in the New Jedi Order?
That
Is he?
or
I haven't gotten around to New Jedi Order
I
yet.
don't remember. Let me look it up. I know he had a mention.
It's gonna be a while before I'm ready for New Jedi Order. I've still got some.
Build yourself.
I got some unabridged audiobooks to go through. I got to go through all of the Jude Watson stuff, the Jedi Prince stuff, all the short story stuff.
He was mentioned in Young Jedi Knights, The Illusions of Grandeur.
Apparently, there's an indirect mention of him in the Unknown Regions source book. Interesting.
Really?
Interesting.
How close are we to Supernatural Encounters?
Well,
we got about like 10 years left.
Yeah, I think we're halfway there. No, Joe released the first 2 parts, which comprises about 120 pages of the book. I think the book's supposed to be like over 1,000, like a little over 1,000 pages. So,
well, I know there's stuff on StarWarsTimeline.net, but I'm talking about with like the physical release.
Yeah, he's released the first 2 parts of the intended physical release to tide people over. Not on StarWarsTimeline.net, not on his website. I know what you're talking about. It's not that. It's like of the actual work that he expanded upon in his Discord. I'm hoping, like he said, he says, like, so he got physical copies printed of the hardcover and the paperback, but he did notice some errors, and I think now he's kind of worried and wants to go. Like, this is like this guy's like magnum opus, right? So he wants to make sure it's as perfect as possible.
Yeah, I get it. Personally, I'm just waiting for like the whole thing to be released.
Yeah, so the whole thing, I'm hoping like in the summer.
Yes, well, I'm hoping he'll be ready before then, because I'd love to buy it and have it signed at Legends Con.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think that's the intention, right?
Yeah.
What we can say is that he's already produced more proof of work than George R.R. Martin has for Book 6 of Game of Thrones.
or Gabe Newell has for Half-Life 3, but
Right. Exactly. Or Patrick Rothfuss for that other book in the King Killer Chronicles. I'm trying to think of like other people who have promised something and we're still waiting.
yeah.
Or Chi with his whole Clone Wars retcons that we never got.
Maxine, I wanted to hop on stream, but I'm being lazy right now. Aw,
No excuse, Maxine.
Yeah, no.
Come
There's no
on.
excuse.
It's Lance's return. I know, Lance, you streamed the other day, but it was like a middle of the day Friday and my kid was home. But this is like Lance's like inaugural return. Oh, there goes Ned.
Oh, well, you mentioned my inaugural return and he left, I guess. I don't know.
He's like, wait, Lance? I thought we were streaming with Matt Wilkins.
Matt Wilson.
Matt Wilson. Well, Matt Wilson's an actual dude, right? Geeks Attic, I think.
That's not his name.
Yeah, it is Matthew Wilson. I'm
Nah, I don't believe that. I knew it was Matt, but he named Wilson.
I'm 90% sure.
I'm 90% sure that the guy in my profile picture is Matt Wilson.
Matt Wilson. Oh,
holy
welcome
crap!
back.
I backed out without realizing it. But yes, I did notice that your name is Matt Wilson.
Matt Wilson.
He's the
Well,
younger, more livelier, and passionate version of Matt Wilkins. Oh, you know what? You're the clone, so you have to have one extra eye or something.
Nah. Matt is the clone of me.
Okay, so Matt Wilkins has to have the extra I or L or something.
Yeah,
no.
The extra.
You would
here's
have an
what
extra A.
He's
Matt
extra
Wilkins.
southern. He's more southern than me. That's what the extra part is.
I know. I was just talking about like the clones with the extra letter thing. So he would have to have like an extra A in his name.
Yeah. Bros, I'm sleepy.
Already? You just got on stream.
I've been looking at screens all day.
Oh, okay. Well. So how was the ceremony yesterday?
Long.
Yeah, fair enough. How do you feel afterwards, though? Did you feel renewed?
Yeah.
That's good. What was
Nazo,
your,
you have a bad echo.
I do. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, I can't
Is it
talk.
me?
I don't know who it is.
I just enabled echo cancellation. Is that any better?
I don't think it was you. I think it was. I don't know who it was. It wasn't me.
I'm already on echo cancellation, so I don't know why I'm getting an echo.
I don't know.
Hello.
Here, let me try and mute it. See if it's me.
Hello. No, it's
It
not
might
me,
have just been a little technical thing.
Was it me when I went on mute? Was it any better?
It wasn't you, Marcel.
Okay. Well, as a true Catholic, I had to blame myself. So
It's always our fault.
it's all my fault.
All the troubles that's in the world, Catholic Church.
Do you guys do you whip yourselves and then pour salt on your back wounds?
Oh, you're talking about like mendicants? No.
I'm sure.
Oh,
that's
good.
what
Somebody let
Protestants
my
think
cat
we
in the
do.
house. Hang on.
I wonder what a Protestant thinks a Catholic Mass actually looks like.
They probably think like Protestants probably think we sacrifice like a goat and drink its blood or something like that.
Well, there is a sacrifice, but no, not like that.
Alex is going to be watching this later. And I hope he has a good laugh about that. That was for him, for my good friend Alex.
Lopsided.
Lopsided.
Yo, what's up, guys?
And you made a meme. I think it was today, actually. All the days blend together. Let me see if it was today. It was in Lance's server. And I was just dying. It was so funny.
Was it the Dave Filoni one?
It might have been. Oh yes, it was. It was the Anakin Skywalker walking, and like instead of the Darth Vader shadow, it's the Dave Filoni cowboy hat shadow from Celebration.
I'm kind of proud of making that one. I'm not gonna lie, because the idea just like suddenly came to my head. I was like, "Yep, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I don't care how long it's gonna take. I'm gonna do it."
Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni. Did you see that?
I said Dave Baloney.
Exactly. I posted a video on Lance's server just like maybe half an hour ago. I mean, okay, full context. Dave Filoni's talking about. I think he's talking about like live action media, but he said it. So this is like a clip from recent Celebration, where he says something along the lines of, "Well, like after 2005, like Star Wars was done." I was like, "Excuse me, what about the expanded universe?" Until he resurrected in 2008, him and George with the Clone Wars, and I don't know. I just like though every time I'm sure Dave Filoni, if somehow someone associated with you is ever listening to this, I'm sure you're a nice guy, but just every time he talks, he just comes off as so holier than thou.
Yeah.
He's edgy. He's
He's,
an edgy lord.
he's definitely not a Catholic, or else he'd be like, "I'm so sorry for the state that Star Wars is in. I blame it."
No, he's a Catholic. He's just not a good one.
Yeah, it's Easter, so I got to make the religious comments.
Keep them going. Well,
Yeah.
We're gonna give people religious trauma by the end of the night.
I hope one day Stevie B just interviews Dave Filoni, just like puts it up there for all of us to see.
I wish. I wonder if there's a way to contact Filoni. I'd love to email him. Or I'd love to ask him to come on a stream.
Come on stream and defend yourself. You should just do it. We'll just get I don't know. It'll go maybe viral on Twitter. An open call for Dave Filoni to come and defend himself.
Yeah, just say that you're a pretty popular person. I think you'll believe it.
Just take EU out of your title, the Star Wars teen. You'd be like, oh yeah, younger audiences.
The Star Wars Filoni teen. I'm a Filoni fan.
Yeah, I point to Christopher Barker says I think Dave Filoni meant Star Wars was done in terms of the films. I pointed that out, and I know that that's the context, but just the way that he said it, he probably could have couched it in those terms. I think. I don't know. I just don't really see much more than a surface level acknowledgement of the expanded universe from Dave Filoni.
Like, did he sound disingenuous? Because I didn't see any of his stuff. He was just talking. I was just like watching like actors and stuff.
Yeah, it was like a minute 44 seconds clip. He didn't seem any more disingenuous than he usually comes off, I would say.
Here's the thing, and this is something I've noticed when it comes to Dave Filoni. I think he realized that he screwed up really bad back in the day. And because a lot of what he's doing with The Mandalorian is very similar to what Karen Travis was doing. Not 100%, but, close enough. So he's trying to make it work.
I would say to the comment in the chat that Star Wars is a movie franchise, I respectfully disagree. The very first piece of Star Wars media ever put out in the world was the novelization for A New Hope. It came out before the movie. I think Star Wars has always been a multimedia franchise, and that's how I would characterize it.
That is true. Like a couple months before the film came out, and then like a month. Also, yeah. Like what was it? 6 months before. 6 months before the official film came out. The comic books also released. So.
Yeah, I get that. Like in the cultural zeitgeist, the movies are the most important thing, and they're the most talked about things, and they're certainly my favorite pieces of Star Wars media as well, as much as I love the expanded universe. But I think that the popularity of various video games, even the shows, has permeated enough of the cultural threshold to be relevant as well. So I don't think that we can just call it a movie franchise or even primarily a movie franchise anymore, especially because the shows have kind of, for better or worse, taken off in the last few years under the Disney's. Are you
I'm
looking at
sorry,
Lance's
Marcel.
comment?
I'm not laughing at you. It's just
Yeah.
that I didn't realize yesterday Maxine put this meme up. It's an Always Sunny meme.
Yeah.
Disney just announced 3 new Star Wars movies. I don't care. Shit, I don't care either.
I love how Lance decides to live stream and then he just like, yeah, I gotta go do laundry. No worries, bro.
Hey, at least the man understands his priorities.
I guess we can keep the flame alive without him.
I don't have a mouse pad right now for my new PC, so I'm just using a Kara Holt comic.
Oh god.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, my stance towards Kara Holt has softened considerably ever since I finished the Knight Errant novel. I really enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
and I think you've lost your mind, but that's neither here nor there.
Christopher Barker says in the comments, I had this debate with someone, and to an extent they're right. The screen dictates what's canon. Books, comics are beta. So that is not what Disney Lucasfilm has said, but that's certainly how they've been treating it. In my opinion, that's like, and yeah, I wish the weekend was 7 days long too. Only Good Games. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Yeah, Disney Lucasfilm has said like, oh, it's all supposed to be canon, and they've been treating it like the screen dictates what's canon. And I guess to a certain extent we saw that as well with the expanded universe, with G canon being the highest tier of canon.
Well, the only problem is that Disney doesn't have a tier system. If Disney had a tier system, that would actually clean up a lot of its continuity errors, much like the tier system did for the expanded universe back in the day.
Yeah, I think what Chris Barker's saying though is that even though they don't have, at least the way that I interpret it is like, even though they don't have a tier system, publicly stated, I think the way that they've been practicing is effectively a tier system.
It's a tier system without actually calling it a tier system. To me,
That's right.
just screams lazy though.
Because content like IPs, the people who run IPs these days, whether it's like Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast with their Forgotten Realms campaign setting, or whether it's Star Trek to a large extent, or even Doctor Who, or Star Wars, they don't care about canonicity. They don't want to be shackled by this concept of canonicity. They want to promote creativity over canonicity, which in a perfect world you'd have both. I mean, like Disney has more money than God. They should be able to hire people who are able to be creative within the confines of an existing continuity.
Well, then again, they could do that with a tier system. You have the stuff. You basically only need two things for your tier system. Your actually 3 things. Your C tier, and Disney has a much more simplified version by comparison. You have your C tier, which is everything that is the official. This is canon. It's not up for debate. This is the canon. S canon, which is adaptation.
Yeah,
whereas
video game mechanics or stuff like that.
Yeah, well, not even just video game mechanics, but you could say, this comic may have happened. You can make it clear this comic is S tier by saying it may have happened.
Right.
But all of the facts that are in it aren't necessarily correct, much like with the original S tier Marvel, OG Marvel run. And of course the N, which is the non-canon stuff like Visions and the EU Legends stuff. That's again. That's how you pretty much quantify with the current canon how to work out what's here, what's not.
Well, yeah, I really thought the expanded universe tier system was quite elegant. Hey, Scott.
Oh, I do. I feel like T canon should have just been S canon though. That's my only gripe with it.
That was never gonna happen. But yeah, no, fair enough. I thought it was quite elegant, and I think that like a kind of tiered system with any type of canons. Sorry, Scott says, is this a Disney canon discussion stream? No, I was talking about like different IPs and how they kind of treat canon and Canon to City and like Wizards of the Coast. What was the other examples I used? Star Trek. But anyways, I think like a tiered system for any type of creative, fictional, historical universe is an elegant way of dealing with continuity errors when they crop up, right? Like you have your live action media, which is going to appeal to the most amount of people. That's kind of takes the cake, and then you have your like you said, like your books and your comics and your stuff like that, and then you have like maybe like a kind of like adaptation, like an S tier kind of adaptations and other things which may or may not have occurred and that kind of thing. But when I talk about stuff like this, I almost feel like there's like 10 people in the world who care about this, and I'm like one of them, and nobody else cares about this.
So far, there's only really one. Like most of Disney canon, by the way, could fit into the EU if you put it in the category. Like this isn't even a canonicity category. This is if you put it in the category of like in-universe holodramas or something like that.
Right.
Honestly, that's actually kind of how I wanted to look at TCW in a way. I wanted to look at it as like Dave Filoni is an in-universe Star Wars writer, and he wrote an adaptation of the Clone Wars. And again, he took liberties, but
Well, I wonder then, sort of jumping off of your comments, if say the Disney stuff is in-universe holodramas, do the people in that universe dislike them as much as I do?
No, actually. Well, maybe some. Like for example, Luke Skywalker in The Shadow of Mindor, he was not a fan of his holodramas. Pretty sure, like because he's a Jedi, he would look at his characterization in The Last Jedi as like, yeah, that's not really how it happened, but it's people are gonna do what they're gonna do, whatever.
I mean, speaking for myself, if I were Luke Skywalker, and I'm not obviously, but if I were Luke Skywalker living in the expanded universe, I don't know, like 40 ABY, like I'm a widower, I got my like son, I'm training him in the Jedi ways, and then somebody puts out like some piece of fiction where I'm the last Jedi, quote unquote, and I'm like unmarried and I'm a sad hermit living alone, and I don't know, I'd be like, man, what is this assassination piece that somebody just put out on me?
Well, you can always look at it as what's her name? Natasi Dalla could have been behind it. Like it's a propaganda piece to make Luke look like an idiot or something.
Scott's comment, they're mad Palpatine returned somehow too. Yeah, exactly. Only Good Game says, all I care about is the EU, and Disney's ripping off the EU. Isn't surprised they've been doing it and will continue, so it's whatever to me. Yeah, it certainly feels that way, man. It certainly feels that way.
Personally, I prefer to make peace with like current canon fans. Like when I initially had like an outburst on Twitter about like what Disney was doing, but then I calmed down, thought about it. I'm like, okay, silver lining, people could actually start reading the books, because when they look up, Rey's new trilogy, they're gonna see, new Jedi Order stuff popping in all the time, and they're gonna be curious about it. Who do you think they're gonna ask about it? EU fans like me.
Yeah, I tend to these days categorize people as not necessarily like, oh, EU fans or dual canon fans or canon fans. I'm going to talk about mature fans and immature fans, regardless of what canon you aspire to or ascribe to. Mature fans will understand that there are people out there who have different tastes than them and have different priorities and like different things, and they'll respect that because they're adults. They're not children.
Yeah.
Immature fans will tell others to, they won't even try to understand where another person's coming from. They'll be like, oh, get over it, or that was fan fiction, or they'll try and like take digs at you, right? Like I don't think it's mature for anyone to take digs at someone for liking the current stuff. I don't think it's mature for anyone to take digs at someone who wants to see a return of the old stuff. So that's where I stand on the issue.
Yeah, no, I actually dealt with like an immature fan today on Twitter. Apparently he called Miriam Skywalker a hypocrite.
Oh yeah, why?
Because she was talking about how like sometimes people behind like a particular profile are just people, they have thoughts and feelings and views just like you do. And he called her a hypocrite and a fake fan, and I quote tweeted his crap saying I found a clip from I literally found a clip from Babylon 5 saying get the hell out of our galaxy.
Oh yeah, Babylon 5. I love that show. Here, the
I
comments.
recently we're on season 3. I'm with the two friends of mine on
Oh, good
we've
for
been
you,
watching
man.
it on Discord, and dude, I'm fucking loving this show.
Yeah,
It's
Londo and
part
Jakar
of my
are like
language.
goated characters in Babylon
Oh,
5.
I love one of the twists that I just saw was the two-parter that closed off Sinclair's story arc.
Yeah,
I did not see that coming. I'm like, you mean he's that guy, the one they kept talking about from the past?
I know. Well, yeah, Valen. Yeah.
Yes, Valen. That's I was trying to, because I know there's some people who haven't seen the show. I was trying to avoid spoilers here, Marcel. But
Well, too late. Babylon 5's been out for like 30 years. Come on, get with the program. I'm gonna read some.
I know it's been out for 30 years, but like I recently started going through the show.
Yeah.
So
I only watched it like 2 years ago for the first time. So, apologies.
yeah, and honestly, at some point, once I get the cash together, I'm probably going to start buying the show myself because. And I also found out there's tie-in comics, so I've got my eye on those now.
There's also tie-in books, but they're very hard to find physically. I think
so the books, I'm not even going to try to unless somebody can hook me up with like free PDFs or something.
Well,
I'm not even going to try to look for the books because like they're so hard to find.
Hook a brother up. I hooked you up today.
Scott,
if I can find somebody who's got the PDFs, man, I will send them your way.
Sorry, Lance. Yeah.
Sorry, Lance.
Scott, I mean, I tried getting one set up, but I don't know what to do. I don't know anything about the role-playing games.
Lance, there's
so
I know you became
might tell me,
Catholic, but there's a sin you need to commit.
Scott, do you know the rules for I think it's 2nd edition Star Wars RPG, which would allow us to play Darkstrider, because we need someone to be a game master, and that person needs to know the rules. And I don't know, maybe Callum might be able to do it, but I don't know if he has the time.
Yeah, I mean, I tried getting Callum into it, but he didn't. I don't know if he doesn't seem too interested.
I'd need info, but I'd be willing to do it. I'm not that great of a D&D player, but I'd love to make crap up as I go along. So,
only good games. I have no issue if people enjoy both. Just have an issue if people spread hate about the E or say it wasn't canon. Yeah, me too. Whenever someone starts,
same way, man. Same way.
I just can't engage. And then Christopher Barker.
This person is
we got
but again, I hate to remind you, Lance. I know you just became Catholic. You became the good boy, but there is something you still need to do.
What?
You're graduating from high school soon, right?
Yeah.
Remember what you were planning to take from the library?
I wasn't planning to take anything. Are you talking about the Courtship Princess Leia?
Yes, the hardcover.
I already found the hardcover, and
never mind then. Never mind.
Yeah, we're good. I already have.
You keep your good boy points.
Yeah. If you guys don't know this person, her name is Madison. She's on Instagram. She follows me. She's the biggest Wraith Squadron / X-Wing fan. So
Silver Cyclops?
Yes. You guys, I've never seen her on my streams before, but she's here now.
That's a pretty sweet picture of.
Do you? I gotta ask, Madison.
Fanon.
Do you love Ton Fanon? She seems to have him in her PFP, so I'm wondering if she loves Ton Fanon.
Yeah, I see Tyria behind him.
I don't know my Wraith Squadron characters, so if y'all are asking me, I don't know anything.
Let me check. Hang on. See what you. Maybe a bit, yeah.
Can we highlight Christopher Barker's comment 8:38 p.m. That one? No, the one of. I just want to talk about that for a second. What does this mean? I'm going to talk about, God forgive me, on Easter, the Disney sequel trilogy for a second. There is like, of the main cast, there's like one woman in a leading role, and the rest are like two guys, Poe and Finn, and then Kylo Ren. Anyways, that's whatever.
Well, I mean, there's Leia, but that's
okay. Yeah, but like Ahsoka too.
She
like,
died. She died in the end.
I don't know. I mean,
Oh well, here's the thing. Dave Filoni wants to make it so that Ahsoka was alive by the sequels, and I'm thinking to myself, no.
How do we all think
you're-
Ahsoka died in the expanded universe? Is what I want to know.
Did she die in the expanded universe?
Well, no. Although some people will tell you, well, okay. So Brandon and Alex made a video about this like a few weeks ago, but there's a piece of art from a Star Wars art book, which name escapes me right now, that depicts Ahsoka fighting Vader on, I believe, Coruscant. And so that is seen as a possible. Anyway,
Which book is this?
It was made pre 2014. So that is a possible. I don't know if you go on Brendan Quinlan Voss's channel, he has a video about it, but maybe a possible end to Ahsoka is that she actually did confront Vader, much like in Rebels, but in the expanded universe, that would have been her end. Okay. Scott.
It's my opinion that it's my opinion because I kind of go by what George Lucas had planned, which was Ahsoka was going to die during Order 66.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Because again, George, Filoni said it in those interviews. He says, "I've always been in the Ahsoka lives camp, and he's always been in the Ahsoka dies camp." So it meant that probably by the end of the series, had George not sold it, had the show not gotten canceled and changed at the last minute, that Dave would have been forced to kill his little love
Pet
child.
Yeah.
Pet is the word you're looking for.
Only Good Games says, all I see is female roles everywhere. I don't think that's a problem anywhere in entertainment currently. Is fair share of different genders and races everywhere from what I currently see. I guess what I'll say is this, is that I think, historically speaking, if you look at these types of movies like Star Wars and stuff like that, there's an overabundance of male protagonists. And as someone who has a daughter, I would like to see more female characters. I think it should be balanced. But if it's a little unbalanced in favor of female characters for the next few years, just to kind of make up for lost time, I'm okay with that. But I think eventually it should be balanced out so that there's equal representation for male, female, and other other types of demographics as well.
Here's my opinion, and I'm gonna make it short and quick and sweet. If you look at a movie or a book or a TV show or whatever, and you see a woman leading it, and you go, "Of course, there's a woman leading it," you have problems. That's all.
Geeks and gamers.
I never really go, "There's a woman leading it." I'm like, "Oh, what's this about? Oh, this is pretty good," or "Oh, this is shit." That's usually
right.
that's usually my reaction to stuff like that. I'm like, I don't care if it's a woman lead or a male lead, just so long as it's actually good. Can it be good, please? That's all I want.
West End Games has a lot of female characters. I actually noticed like the adventure journals, the short stories there in particular, also had a lot of like female protagonists in them and stuff like that. So that's an interesting comment. I have a question for Scott actually in the comments. Scott, well, two questions. Why aren't you on here? Number one, and number two is, does Star Wars Vision say how Ahsoka dies at the end of Order 66?
If it's like a space issue, I'll bow out so Scott can come in.
There's still spots here. Even if Maxine joins, there's still one more spot open.
I know, but I want to make sure everybody's got a fair shot.
RK
Outpost complained about Bo-Katan and Mandalorian being a leading role.
Well, I don't watch The Mandalorian anymore, so that doesn't bother me.
I do.
I'm just
I've been
mad that
watching
Din
it with-
Djarin is no longer leading the show that was about him. So
Dude, he hasn't been leading it since the baby showed up.
I just want to say, only good games. I agree with you. Equal representation is good as long as it's not forced and flows naturally with the story. The story should always come first.
Well, this season, The Mandalorian has actually been doing something that I wouldn't have expected. There's been a lot less, like, there's still been filler episodes, but they've been a lot more focused on, like, a singular storyline, which means they're learning.
you know, here's how I was thinking the season was going, and I actually really liked the idea. So obviously, at the end of season 2, Din got the Darksaber on accident, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of threw Bo-Katan in a, catch-22. She doesn't want to kill Din, but she still wants to leave Mandalore. However, when the Mythosaur showed up, I'm like, wait, this could go in a very interesting direction. Meaning, okay, Din Djarin has the Darksaber, but Bo-Katan has the Mythosaur. So it's like, who is the rightful Mandalorian leader? Is it Din Djarin or Bo-Katan? I think that would have been an interesting thing to explore, but nope. Freaking Bo-Katan gets all of it. She gets the Darksaber, she gets the Mythosaur, she gets Mandalore, and Din Djarin is kind of there.
Here's where I might debate, and this is just because I've noticed a particular track record. Bo-Katan actually wants the Darksaber. Din Djarin does not. You can tell by the way he wields it, he doesn't want this. He doesn't want this weapon. He doesn't want this responsibility. He doesn't reach for it first and foremost, like the previous people who have reached for it. Because again, Bo-Katan reached for it. Sabine Wren reached for it. Pre Vizsla, Darth Maul, they reached for it first and foremost when it came to being a worthy wielder. And a friend of mine, my buddy Netcat, has a theory on how the Darksaber works. He thinks that a part of Tar Vizsla lives in the weapon, and that it's almost like a Thor worthiness thing, where if you want the responsibility and you're strong-willed and whatnot, the sword will actually work with you and become lighter as you connect with it. Whereas if you hardly use it, if you don't really want it, if you don't feel like you're worthy of it, it gets heavier, and that seems to be what happened with Din.
Yeah. Well, I was also wondering if you guys wanted to talk about potential spoilers for next episode, because at Celebration they released a clip of next episode. Do you guys want to talk about spoilers, or do y'all care?
I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't care either.
There's only one Mandalore that I recognize, and his name is.
This is an EU thing. This does not affect the EU, but there's EU stuff in it in the next episode.
Oh, really?
And you guys don't care, but does the chat care at all about? I know Scott's not going to care. Only Good Games may not care. If you do care, let me know in the chat. We won't talk about spoilers. I mean, these are like likely spoilers, like
that makes sense. Yes, Christopher. That's based on my buddy Net's thought process, and again, I thought about that process, and it's the only one that actually makes logical sense as to why Din can't wield the Darksaber.
Well,
I think I'm the only one, by the way. Like me and my buddy Net, when we talked about the previous episode of The Mandalorian, I think we're the only ones that didn't think it was as terrible as the rest of the internet did.
Well, it looks
the
like
rest of the internet seemed to think, "Oh, this is the worst episode I've ever seen of this show," and I'm like, "Nah, it was okay. It was just like an average Mandalorian episode."
The worst episode of that show was season 2, episode 2, with the spider things on that snow planet. That episode was so boring. It was horrible.
Yeah, I kind of agree there. The frog mom escort type story, and then Grogu eating her children. Just like
It was strange. Anyway, I'm gonna go and spoil the next episode. If you don't want spoilers, you better leave now. So at Celebration, they showed. Now again, I think this is legit, but I may be wrong. So take this with a grain of salt. But they showed a clip of next episode. Towards
I
the
heard
end of
they
the
actually
episode,
showed the entire episode for people who got like an early screening of it.
I was told it was a clip, but I don't know. Anyway, here's what happens. Moff Gideon, he goes into this little like council Moff chamber room. Brendel Hux is there, who is General Hux's father.
Right.
Then Pelion's there.
You'll have tell you?
Pelion, yes. Pelion's already canon because he's mentioned in Rebels, and then he has an appearance in one of the Thrawn books, but he's going to be in it in live action, and I think that's it. I know Thrawn's not there, but they're talking about cloning. So this is going in a very bad direction.
This is going
cool,
exactly where I
Pelion.
think it's
Live action
going.
Pelion's cool, but I don't know.
This is going exactly where I think it's going. Dave Filoni's getting his own movie, and the movie is going to be Heir to the Empire.
Yeah. It's a real shame.
So
And it's going to be a pale imitation. Like, it'll be its own thing, but it'll be it'll be Heir to the Empire in name only.
Right.
So basically, all the Imperials are united in the span of, what is it, like 10 years or less?
I don't think they're all united. They may be, because you think about it, in the original Thrawn trilogy, Thrawn did unite most of the Empire only 5 years after Jedi, and he led a nearly successful campaign. So that's not really the problem. I guess the EU is different because the Empire wasn't destroyed by then. The Empire
Well,
is
the way
destroyed.
canon seems to portray, or the current canon seems to portray it, the Empire is not completely destroyed here. Apparently, like, it's just in hiding. That's the big difference. Whereas in the EU, it was still fully, different warlords vying for control of different systems. This one is they're all in hiding.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
It's a secret empire.
And also, at the end of last episode, Carson came across that Imperial shuttle. Carson Teva, who's
Yeah.
that old pilot.
Yeah.
He came across this abandoned Imperial shuttle, this Lambda class shuttle, and he saw inside of it. It was a Republic vessel, but it was a Lambda class shuttle, like they did in the EU.
But he saw Beskar, I remember.
Yeah, there was Beskar in it. I don't think it was Mandalorians. I
don't think so either. I actually have a suspicion or a theory about what it is.
Yeah, it's going to be a stormtrooper with Beskar.
I was thinking it was going to be because we already saw that they had dark troopers on Gideon's cruiser. It's going to be dark troopers in Beskar.
Or that. Something to do with it's going to be a new trooper type. And new trooper type, and that's been my theory that what was going on since like kind of the first season when we found out that the Empire had Beskar. Like, well, if the Mandalorians are making, Beskar armor, why wouldn't the Empire invest in the same thing? So,
Hi.
what's up, Max? I'm sorry if I spoiled next episode for you.
Hi, Max.
No, you
Hey
did not.
Marcel, which part
Hi,
of Lance server is the which part of the Lance server did you put the clip?
The Dave Filoni clip.
Yeah.
I think I put an expanded universe channel.
Okay.
If you scroll up, like even just
I
this
see
guy- yeah.
Mallrats. This one is Star Wars Celebration 2023.
yeah,
Filoni
that's the
talks
one.
about.
This guy Darth Brad Media. Darth Brad's a guy on Instagram. I really like him. He's a really positive, cool dude. But he threw it up on his channel. He's a fan of both Legends and the expanded universe and the Disney stuff. But anyways, yeah, that's the clip that I was talking about.
According to Filoni, Star Wars was over after 2005 until he
Yeah.
resurrected it with TCW.
But in fairness, he was like, that was a very unnuanced response that I gave. But he was, I think, referring to live action, as other people have pointed out.
Yeah, no, of course. Like
But
as
it
far as
still came off as, like, very
the books and
small.
comics were still the books and comics and RPG stuff like Star Wars miniatures, toys, all that was still going strong.
Yeah, I just find it problematic that he never really like pays much credence to that, or gives it much gives it its due, and how important it is in sort of keeping the fandom alive. Like he kind of like looks down on it from my perspective.
Well, here's again, maybe I'm wrong, but the perspective I seem to think is that back in the day, Filoni didn't really care much for the expanded universe. He claimed to care until somebody exposed him about the whole, Colonel Yularen thing. Anyway,
Felony.
after that, he went hardball against it. And then after the decanonization, I think at some point he came across some of the notes that were from a lot of these books, and he's like, "Oh shit, I fucked up." And now he's trying his best to make it work with what he's got now.
His
Like, he's
best is
working-
not good enough. Instead of trying his best to make it work, he should come up with some interesting new ideas that have nothing to do with the expanded universe that allow us to continue Legends.
True.
Continuation, not
Well,
integration.
I actually posed this question again on Twitter. I'm like, what is so wrong about continuing the expanded universe?
Yeah, and I saw some of the people who responded to you are like off their meds.
Well, here's the thing. This time around, most of the people that responded to me were like the hardcore EU fans that think it's going to get ruined entirely. And that's always a possibility. I'm not saying it isn't. But I'd rather take the risk than get nothing.
I'm right with you. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I reject that notion that it's definitely going to get ruined. I think there's a chance, but there was a chance when the expanded universe was around that it was going to get ruined. Look at the Clone Wars, right? That a lot of that ruined
But
the expanded universe.
here's my point. They're trying to make it sound more complex than it is, and it's really, really simple. You hire people who actually care about like the universe. Now, Lucasfilm, keep in mind, they have all this on archive. People like Leland Shee had all this shit on archive back in the day. So people all they really have to do is like go through all the lore books, hard working on Wikipedia pages in relation to the expanded universe. They could hire people like Ryder Winham again.
Drew Karpyshyn.
Just
I'm not even talking about authors. I'm talking about people who understand continuity, like
Oh well, I want a
Wallace.
Tarzana book, so I mean.
Oh yeah. That comes later. I'm talking about as of right now, like the people you could hire for the story group,
Me.
like
right.
Marcel. They could hire you for the story group because you know a lot.
But like honestly, just make it like a niche project, and like even just like pilot a book. Like get someone like Stackpole or like Ryder, or like just to come out with one book, like a Marvel 108 type of thing. See how much.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm getting. At. It's a lot easier than people make it out to be. It's so easy, and it's so easy an idiot can do it. Basically.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Max?
If they did ask you one day, hey, you want to come work on our story group, what would you say?
They would never ask me because of all the negative things I've said about Disney.
But let's say hypothetically, if they did,
for the expanded universe,
yeah,
I'd like give like one of my children.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't go that far.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, no. Again, like I simplified it as best I could. You hire people who care about the expanded universe to help set up books and ideas. You set up that little subdivision, and I'm guessing these people would work for less pay than the actual story group is getting.
Yeah.
Because they're actually freaking passionate about the universe. They could hire Joe Bongiorno because of how passionate he is about it.
Realistically, what is the current story group doing? Like, are they doing anything?
They advise.
They approve ideas, Maxine. That's all they do.
I don't know, but they keep allowing all this stupid continuity breaking. You know?
But So that's that you can easily solve this with like hiring a story group to keep it exclusive to the expanded universe. That's the first problem solved. They're like, well, what about so they have like the excuses like well, what about if people getting confused? Will this next book be canon or Legends? I'm
Well,
like,
okay.
they put the Legends banners on all the books and comics. You've already solved that problem.
Yeah, they sell Legends books in bookstores next to canon books with the Legends banner. There's no confusion to the consumer.
Mhm.
Also,
Yeah.
they published Ronin, which is not Legends, obviously, but it's part of a different unit. It's not part of the Disney canon. It's part of a different universe, like a Visions book or whatever, right? Star Wars.
And let's hypothetically say that Disney Plus wants in on the expanded universe action. I'm being completely hypothetical. When you let's say they do an animated adaptation of the Thrawn books, like it's the whole thing word for word, not counting narration or anything like that, but word for word, the dialogue, the characters, the events from the book, that sort of thing. It's a straight up like perfect adaptation. If they're worried about people wondering if it's canon or not, you can easily how they start things with like the Disney Plus or the Star Wars logo. Just have a logo that says a Legend story or something.
Right, even with like a title card saying like this story applies to the expanded universe, which is not part of the current canon or whatever. Like I don't care, but like Scott.
Yeah, again, they're trying to make it sound harder than it already is when it's literally that simple.
Yeah, Scott brings up a good point in the comments. He says the EU has always been a licensed product. The in-house oversight doesn't need to be hardly anything, and I agree with that. Like license it out to Dark Horse, or like license out more EU books to Del Rey, and they'll figure out who they want to write for it, and we'll go from there.
They'll if they do figure out who, because Drew Karpyshyn has fully expressed interest in wanting to do more books for the expanded universe. So if hypothetically if that happened, Maxine, you would get your Xana book.
Xana book definitely good, but if they give me Sword of the Jedi again, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think. I think we would get it, but I don't think it would be Christy Golden. She seems very happy with the new continuity. So it would have to be someone else, kind of like how
have Troy Denning
Matthew
do it.
Stover was supposed to fill in
Jedi
on the
by Troy
last
Denning.
Republic
Have Troy
Commando
Denning
story.
do it.
That would divide the EU fan.
I don't give a fuck. Troy Denning's a fucking Chad.
Troy Denning is known for darkness, so
I don't care.
Universe fandom would be like, I should stay dead.
I'll say it. Troy Denning writes Jaina Solo really good.
Don't forget about Han and Leia. Don't forget about Han and Leia.
well, here's the interesting thing: the expanded universe could actually kill
Denning.
off the major characters that they couldn't kill off before. So you could kill off Luke in a badass way in one of the books.
Death threats incoming to that author.
Oh god.
I know. Well, to be fair, I don't think he would get that many death threats because, most of them have already been directed at Rian Johnson. So
Yeah, actually, Maxine. Now I think more about your question before about whether or not they came to me and they offered I would not take it because I don't want that baggage or the death threats or the fan expectations that come with it. So I would
here's the thing, Marcel. The story group can protect you. They can say, yeah, this was if it was your decision to kill off the character, they could say in order to deflect blame from you. They could say, no, that was our decision. Marcel was not happy with it, but he agreed to our decision. He understood why it was important. And that way, you're free and clear for years to come until all the anger and backlash dies down. And by the way anger and backlash is nowadays, there's actual censure for that now. Even if you were open about, I killed this character, so what? If anybody actually made real legitimate death threats against you, there would actually be censure for it.
See, Nazo says that, but maybe 10 years from now, I directed Matthew Stover to kill off Waru, and Nazo's the one penning the death threat. How dare you kill off Waru? the greatest.
How dare you kill off Waru? How
Yeah.
dare you kill off sentient meat cube?
I just
No, man, I'll take the blame. I get hate from
I,
time to time. I'll
no,
take
man, I'm only kidding with you.
it. The salt gives me joy.
Yeah, I would love to see the Sword of the Jedi trilogy come to fruition. I would love to see Dawn of the Jedi get finished. I would love to see Force Unleashed 3, Mandorla.
I would love to see Kara Holt die.
oh, please, Mandorla. I'll kill for it.
Oh, Mandorla. I don't know much about it, but I've heard it's for the Tales of the Jedi time.
Tell me who I have to kill for it, and I'll do it.
Mandorla was originally going to be
I'll do it.
written by Al.
I can see that.
It was
I
supposed to
don't
be.
think
know
you
what
need to go
happened to
that
her.
far, Maxine, but I can see why you would do that.
I have to know what happened to Nomi. I have to.
Maxine, were you the one who made the meme where it was like Dala running away?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like me breaking into Lucasfilm and stealing like Mandorla and Sword of the Jedi
It was
story treatments or something like that.
it was like me escaping Lucasfilm with all the unfinished EU files.
Yeah.
No, I'd much rather break into I'd much rather break into William C. Dietz's house for the file that has Escape from Dagu.
I also did the XR Kun meme the other day about
yeah.
the announcements.
I shared that. It's like
Yeah.
EU fans when they hear the announcements.
Yeah.
They got to
Yeah,
celebrate.
what was it? It was that's in memes, right?
I think
I don't know.
yeah.
Was that one shared in memes? It was on Instagram, but it was like Exar Kun on the cover of the Sith War, where he's like screaming in pain and his hands are out,
And
then
clutching
Maxine-
his chest, but it says New Jedi Order on there.
yeah,
And go to the Thrawn trilogy.
Thrawn trilogy and New Jedi Order.
I saw that picture of XR Kun. I was like, I can work with this.
Look, I'm
Why
gonna
did,
say
why did Slug give Kathleen Kennedy like put her mouth on crack?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, it was in the memes. Yeah,
Yeah.
EU fans after today's Star Wars Celebration announcements. Ah!
I was pretty depressed on Friday. I'm not gonna lie. Like I did not see any of those announcements as good for Continue Legends movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've seen
agree. It
Christian
was
bounce back.
demotivating.
You guys
Yeah.
should have seen my rant though. I was vulgar about it.
I did see your rant, but I was avoiding anything on Instagram. On Twitter for those 2 days because it was just like a hive of scum and villainy for the last couple of days, and so I had to avoid it completely.
Yeah, it's been kind of weird on
Like,
there.
so I guess fuck these characters, fuck this story.
Every
fuck-
time I hear her say, as heir to the Empire, I actually want to die. Like, just fucking scoop out my eyeballs and cut off my ears. I
There's
can't. I
only
don't like
one
it.
heir to the Empire, and there'll likely only be one pale imitation that comes later.
I've had like several people reach out to me over the last few days, be like, "What? Why aren't you happy? This is great. Why aren't you happy?"
Because
Yeah,
it's not heir to the Empire.
Yeah, I'm trying to explain that to them, and they're
It's
just like,
heir to the Empire. Explain to them it's heir to the Empire in name only.
It's been very discouraging to not necessarily like the Lucasfilm, what they've decided to do and celebration, all that stuff, but just fan reactions to that has been very discouraging to me.
But I
So,
think the fan theories have been even more bad.
yeah.
Like, I think I put it in one of the chats. I think I put it in Internet Stupidity where the guy was he was like, "Oh yeah, this is like Darth Bane coming through the world between worlds," and I was like, "Literally, just die. Like, don't ever speak again."
Well, I you're talking about those new characters in the Ahsoka trailer, right?
Yeah, the Dark Force users. Sorry, I'm.
I think their design was based off of Bane and Xana, but that's like other than like the
Stupid.
aesthetic look, that's kind of the only real connection there. There's not really
Yeah.
any. The way I'm looking at them, because they have kind of because I looked up on Wikipedia exactly what they are, because we couldn't determine if their lightsabers were red or orange. Turns out they're a mix of both.
Right on.
And I came up with the theory that, like, okay, so these guys aren't necessarily Sith. They're like dark side acolytes, kind of like, the sorcerers of Tund and
Yeah.
Rand and, prophets of the dark side, Inquisitorius. So
The
they don't
disciples
have
of
like any of the
Ragnos.
real power of Sith, but they're still like. That's just the way I was looking at it.
Who the fuck's playing Battlefront?
Me.
Not me.
Oh, Lance is playing Battlefront.
Based. But no, yeah. The Darth Bane thing, I was like, please stop. I was like, please don't say that.
I saw on YouTube this morning. So from the Ahsoka trailer, it showed the girl that looked like Lana from the Old Republic. Someone said that, or made a thumbnail saying, "What happened to Omega on Mount Tantus?" And it's a picture of Omega right next to the chick who appeared in Ahsoka, basically implying, "Oh, Omega's a dark Jedi now."
Good
No.
And I was
lord.
like,
Yeah,
Where
I
did you
saw
come up with
that, and
this
I'm like,
shit?
no, that sounds really stupid.
yeah, it was by Lore Star, which I used to, like when I started getting into Star Wars, I would watch a lot of his videos, and I think he made like comic videos, and I would always love his videos because that's what got me more into Star Wars. But now just seeing him posting clickbait, it just makes me like super sad.
How cringe. Ugh. What was it? And I forgot. But like the leaks, the Ahsoka leaks are like going off of the trailers. They look, they sound very similar to what we're seeing.
Wait,
So-
what about Only Good Games' comment in the chat?
I
Some people,
lost. I suck.
well, that is why you fail. I saw some people talking / joking about a hypothetical Anakin and what happened to Anakin's arm after it got cut off in episode.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Picked it up. Random, sorry. You know, it would be funny if Anakin picked up that arm and just started beating Dooku with it. Bludgeoning him with it.
I imagined it was more of a Saving Private Ryan scenario where he like just picks up his arm as though nothing happened.
He puts it on ice, but there's no like healthcare system on Geonosis, and so
He didn't have time to get it to a back to tank.
yeah.
That's why his arm is robotic.
I haven't started Champions of the Force yet.
What did you think of Dark Apprentice?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was very fun, as Kevin J. Anderson always is.
I like Jedi Search better. I'm just curious if you like the Jedi Search better as well.
I was thinking about that. Couldn't really decide. I'd probably say Jedi Search as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably
My
say
first
Jedi
time.
Search.
Sorry, go ahead.
Though I did really I enjoyed the cute little adventure that Jason and Jaina had in the under levels of Coruscant. That was pretty cute.
Oh yeah. There's like art for that, I think.
Is there? I gotta find it.
Yeah, there's art for that. That like
And then,
Forrest, yeah.
that trash person brings them back home.
yeah, he reminded me of one of the characters from the John Wick universe, like played by Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, exactly.
He reminded me exactly of him. And I
Who's
was
the
like,
mayor of Cernpadel or Cerndipal or whatever the planet's called?
oh yeah.
Back in the day, people thought that the mayor of Cerndipal, is that what it's called, was Boba Fett. It was like a big theory online. It's so crazy.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Weird.
Didn't he like sacrifice himself? That mayor, he like jumped into the Dovin basil or something
I
like
think
that.
so, yeah. And Anakin was like, "What the fuck? Like, why would you do that?"
Yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Champions of the Force because I enjoyed it. But yeah, I don't know.
Max, did you think Luke acted stupid in the Jedi Academy, like constantly made bad decisions regarding the Academy? I don't know. I mean, a lot of the bad things that kind of happen aren't really his fault, like with Gantoris and like Kip falling to the dark side. So it's like, I don't know, like what could have Luke done? I mean, because he didn't even know about Exar Kun until the whole Kip Duron pulling the Sun Crusher out of Yavin thing. So it's like, I don't think he made any bad decisions. I think he was doing his best because, it's the first time he's doing this.
Yeah.
He's just going with the flow.
I gotta say, my favorite part of Dark Apprentice is like Leia, who's just been in this horrific, like basically car accident with Akbar, crashed into Cathedral of Winds, calls up her husband, and she's like you got to pick me up. I've been in this like terrible car accident.
I lost the Falcon.
Before, so like, he's like, oh yeah, sure, honey, I'll come pick you up. And then like he like pulls out a sabacc deck and gambles away the Falcon to Lando. Like the most loving, irresponsible husband ever. I was like, this scene is surreal. How could Kevin J. Anderson ever write something like this?
I suck balls at this game.
Makes it terrible. Thank you.
Like, Luke was like, "What?" I forgot who he asked. He was like, "Why aren't you like?" Oh, he asked Han over hologram. He's like, "Oh, like why aren't you just bringing Kip here yourself?" And he's like, "Oh, I lost the Falcon to Lando." And Luke's like, "What?" And then he just changes the subject. Like, Luke was like, he was like sad about it. He was like, "Damn, I just lost Gantoris, and now Han just lost the Falcon."
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's so funny.
It is a very funny book.
Scott, actually, before Scott's comments, Only Good Game says Ian McDermott talking about the expanded universe, but he may not understand that it's different than the Disney canon. And then he expressed love for the Plagueis book, so he likes the EU. Yeah, I mean, the Plagueis book is goated. It's like the best book out there.
Greatest ever.
And then Scott says that he thinks Luke put his students in unnecessary danger, making the academy on Yavin 4. Especially
how could he have known that Exar Kun was there? He didn't really know until he spoke to Voto Sias Boss in the holocron.
Right.
He didn't really know. And it was Leia who picked Yavin.
But that's interesting that I guess the Jedi would have apparently in the Old Republic would have known that Exar Kun was trapped on Yavin 4.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess maybe they couldn't do anything about it. But in Star Wars Galaxies, there's like this side quest where these researchers or archaeologists from like a university are like studying the tombs, or not the tombs, the Massassi temples on Yavin 4, and a few of them get I guess they unleash the spirit of Exar Kun, and a few of them get possessed, and they start up this cult.
Oh, shit.
And I don't know like if that would have been like if known to the New Republic or Luke or whatever, but I guess my question is like, what would Luke have known at the point where he set up the? And I've wondered this for a while, and I guess don't have the presence of mind right now to research it. But what would Luke have known about Yavin 4's history when he set up his Praxium there?
Not much.
Because that's the question, right? Like if he didn't really know that much, then yeah, I mean, how can he be blamed for that? But yeah, anyways.
But I love seeing like Luke with the little twins. I think it's so cute.
Yeah.
And he's like so good with them. He like floats them around with the Force, and it's adorable.
What do you think about Dala?
I love Dala. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're not supposed to like the Imperials." I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, she's cool.
Did you get to the part where she just like merciless? I think it happens in book 2, so I'm not spoiling anything. But she like just
blows up Dantooine. Well, not blows up
Dantooine. Like slaughters the Gantoris' people on Dantooine.
Yeah, I was like, wow, they're just chilling there, and you just blow them all up. Then, she's losing her Star Destroyers pretty quickly. She lost one of them in the Maw Cluster when they fucking plowed the Sun Crusher through the bridge, and then they lost another one to Akbar and the Mon Calamari thing. And now they just lost another one when Kip used the Sun Crusher to make like the nebula explode. And now she's down to just her flagship.
I love that scene with Akbar when they lost one to Akbar, because he's kind of like down and out, right? He's like feeling sorry for himself and stuff like that. And then he musters up enough I don't know, like gumption to go back and basically like, yeah, I'm gonna use what I learned under Tarkin against Dala, and it like works brilliantly. I thought it was a really cool part of the book.
I love that. And he's like, "Hey, wait, I recognize this tactic." And he's like, "If I'm right, there should be another destroyer behind our moon." And he was right. And I was like, "Oh." And Dala's like, "How the fuck could they have known that?" And she didn't know she was going up against the Admiral Akbar. Chad.
her going crazy like every time losing a Star Destroyer. I remember how hilarious that was.
Yeah.
Like imagine like leaving the mall, like being there for 10 years and then you just get immediately destroyed.
Ooh, what's this? Hey guys, I have a question. I plan on reading Legacy of the Force one day. Is it worse than the sequels? What the fuck? Legacy of the Force is like infinitely better than the sequels could ever be. Legacy of the Force is some of the greatest Star Wars that exist.
I haven't
What are you
even
on
read it,
about?
and I already know it's better.
You're talking to Maxine, who is like one of the biggest Legacy of the Force fans. I think Lopsided. How far are you into Legacy of the Force?
I'm like about to be halfway through Sacrifice. I've been kind of delaying on it for the fact that I've been kind of busy and for what's about to happen to this book that I probably can't endure.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm so jealous you're experiencing it for the first time because I miss it. I miss it so much.
I will go out on record in saying that I enjoyed Legacy of the Force, and it's a large part of why I'm kind of back into why I became back into the Force.
Hold on. Yeah, he heard it made the EU miserable. That's what Quality Autism said.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
So yeah,
Is
don't
that
listen
why
to
he
him.
won't show up on your streams anymore, Lance?
Clone Trooper. I would read it. It's definitely worth reading and making your own decisions.
Yeah, don't listen to him. He's a
Just go.
doofus.
Yeah, just go with it with an open mind about with like how all the other authors intended for the series to be.
Jay, go check the Jedi Knight channel on the Discord. You degenerate.
Yeah, there's the link in there. But Legacy of the Force is spectacular, and I'm very excited for Jason Solo here to get to Fate of the Jedi as well.
I like Noah. I consider him a friend, and I think he's entitled to his opinions. But I don't think someone's going to clip this and send it to him. I don't think his opinions are the be all end all of whether or not something's good or bad. Although I do tend to agree with him on a lot of things. So
I would definitely probably differ on Noah on more than a few things. For example, I like Scoundrels.
What's that?
Is that a bad one to like?
Scoundrels is the Timothy Zahn novel.
Isn't that Brennan's favorite book?
It's Brennan's favorite Timothy Zahn book, which is just bonkers. I actually don't even know what my favorite Timothy Zahn book is. Maybe Heir to the Empire.
I would think mine would probably be that or Last Command.
Last Command.
I think mine is either Last Command or just from the ones I've gone through so far, or Outbound Flight.
What I did want to say though,
Lance, add Jay into the thing.
Dylan was Lance.
He's dead.
He's not even listening to us.
Lance.
He's dead.
But Dylan, who did that history of the EU fandom with Chris Nelson a few months back, has been putting some videos out on his channel, and they're basically like aggregate scores of how people rate the books for various authors. So he's done Aaron Alston so far, and he just did Timothy Zahn. And Outbound Flight, which I thought was a great book, was like 9th or 8th out of 10.
That's Zahn. Not bad.
Well, no, 9th or 8th out of 10 out of Zahn's books. So Choice of One and Allegiance rated higher than Outbound Flight, which shocked me because I think Outbound Flight is the better book.
What is the best dinner?
Yeah, I agree. Allegiance I felt was decent. I was bored to death with Choices of One.
Yeah.
What is the best Denning book, though?
I've only read one or gone through one Denning book. I still have to go through the other ones. And the only one I've gone through is, from what I've heard, the worst one, which is Tatooine Ghost.
I'm going to say, I mean, if you ask me, the best Denning book would probably be either Invincible or Apocalypse. But
I haven't gone through any of them. I'm going through a whole bunch of the other EU books before I even start on the new Jedi Order.
Yeah.
I recently just started doing some of the shorter stuff, and Jude Watson's Jedi Apprentice ones. I'm on the 4th or 5th book of that right now.
I already want to read Legacy of the Force and Fate of the Jedi again. I kind of just finished those not too long ago.
My favorite Denning book is still Star by Star. I've read was it the Darkness
I've heard
trilogy.
wonderful things about Star by Star.
Pain.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think the Fall of Coruscant. Hopefully, this isn't a spoiler. I think that was done amazingly because I didn't expect that to happen in the was it the 9th book? I expected it to happen at least like I think in the 10th or 11th. So that caught me like off guard. And like I said, I love Dennings when he writes Han and Leia, and Han and Leia in that book were like spot on when Anakin died. Their reactions, like it felt like surreal and real to me. It was like unbelievable.
So true. Pain.
That as well.
I'm so scared to read like NJO and everything again because I know it's gonna still be just as painful.
Yeah, even starting with Vector Prime.
I know it starts off.
Here's the thing: if the book makes you feel those strong emotions,
it's a good book.
Then it's actually done its job as a story.
Yeah. Oh my God, you should have seen me at the like Invincible and Sacrifice. Oh my.
Oh geez, you must have been bawling after that, and I'm guessing you likely experienced the Young Jedi Knights books before that, and you're like, yeah, so you're like,
I did.
You're like, I've watched these guys grow up from being kids, and now here they are fighting each other to death, and you're just like heartbroken to see its end, and you're like,
and like in Invincible, like each chapter starts off like has a little like corny joke that Jason used to say in the Young Jedi Knights book. So I'm like, wow, why don't you just stab me in the heart over and over again?
Can everybody hear?
I think that was the point.
Hi,
I think the whole point of the story was to solicit emotion.
I think so.
What up? What up?
Nothing much.
Yo, Jay.
Oh, are you talking about the beginning of the chapters for Invincible?
Yeah.
I got Invincible. I haven't read it yet, but I saw those and I just get sad because I'm like, because I tell corny jokes too, and I'm just like, he's just like me for real.
Well, Jay, imagine if you were that guy who told corny jokes, that one good Jedi, and then in order to protect the people you love, you felt like you had to become a monster, so you're no longer doing those corny jokes.
Yeah, that's just
and then your own sister has to kill you.
Yeah, that shit is depressing.
Jay, your picture just kills me every time I see it.
The Ewok.
Every time I see it, man.
That Ewok. The real question is, what drug is he using? That's the real question.
Which what drug?
What drug is it?
I think like I don't know, like MDMA, maybe PC.
Glitter stem spice.
Oh, that spice, that good old spice.
Oh, real stem.
Real.
Well, that'll screw with your head.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he's just maybe the Ewok is just a stoner. Maybe.
Probably.
If anyone else wants to in the comments wants to join on and they're friends with Lance, like let me know and I can hop off. I'd be happy to let.
Yeah, same. I love talking with you guys, but I'm more than willing to back out if it means.
It's been a minute since I talked to Marcel.
Okay, Jay, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
It's been a minute. I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
You know, Lance converted to Catholicism recently. Where's what's your excuse?
What's my excuse?
This is an intervention, Jay. We're glad that you came. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Discord. I've been on Instagram so much. I be like forgetting Discord. I downloaded it.
Yeah, man. I've been following some of your stories. What do you think about Green Lantern coming back in a couple months?
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah.
I've been reading some of the Jeff Johns stuff lately.
Yeah, good old days.
Yeah.
That's what got me back into DC Comics for a while.
Based, yeah. I keep saying I got to get back into my Star Wars reading, and I just don't. But I will. No.
That's okay, Jay. I'll still be your friend if you never read Star Wars again.
No, I will. The day I don't read Star Wars again is probably the day I'm dead. But
well, I hope that doesn't happen for at least like 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Someone said they converted to the Sith ideology.
Yeah. I'm gonna make clones of myself. I'm gonna make contingencies.
You know what I was thinking about the other day? I would really love to see what happens, like how SWTOR ends, like the MMORPG, and kind of like what happens in that period between then and like Darth Ruin stuff, like the new Sith Wars. Mm-hmm. I want to know like sort of what the Sith, what their status is between like the year like 3500 BBY to like 2000 BBY. Like what are they doing? What's going on?
Was the death of Darth Ruin, was that the first big change of the Sith? or did it happen before that?
Well, Darth Ruin, I think actually what happened was he traveled forward in time 1,000 years and then got killed like very quickly in like the Bane Sith Wars.
That was Riven.
Oh, was that Riven? God,
Yeah.
I screwed it up.
Riven or Revan?
Riven.
Ryvan.
Rivan.
Oh, Ruin
that's
was.
it.
Ruin was the one who like kind of started like that. He was the first of the Lost 20, and he was named Phineas.
Right, Darth
Phineas.
Ruin. Wait, what was
He
his
was originally a Jedi named Phineas.
Yeah.
If my name was Phineas, I would fall to the dark side as well.
Right, he's an Umbaran.
Yeah.
Oh, you know how
Also,
those
he's
Umbarans
tall.
are. I'm joking.
They're freaky.
Never
the
trust
Draggle
an Umbaran.
period from 2000 to 1000 BBY. We just know nothing, not really that much about the Dragulch period.
What is it called?
The Dragulch period.
The Dragulch period.
RAGGULCH period.
Isn't
I
like
personally
SWTOR, isn't
You
SWTOR
go.
just like a like constant struggle between the Republic and like the Sith Empire? Like it's just back and forth.
Yeah, but the DLCs kind of veer into like some weird territory. So there's like also the Eternal Empire. Lance can
Okay.
talk about it. Just play through
Yeah,
them.
yeah. With Valkyrian and
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
The one thing I want to find out is how the Sith Empire degraded from how it was in Star Wars: The Old Republic to how it is in Knight Errant.
Yeah.
The different empires.
basically.
Yeah.
Did
Well,
they,
it's,
like,
I
did they
think
use
it
a lot
might
of
be. I
territory?
think it might actually be the same Sith Empire, just like now it's literally just feuding lords.
Did they?
Well, by
so-
the time after Valkorion was defeated and the Eternal Empire was defeated, the Sith Empire wasn't that strong anymore. It was really weak. So was the Republic. So, like for example, I mean, there was a lot of infighting, and I mean, especially by like Legacy of the Sith. I mean, you had Malgus. He was against Valron, and I mean, it was a lot of infighting.
Wow, Sith Lords fighting.
That
each
no,
other?
that actually kind of makes sense. Like the Sith kind of went the way of like the Roman Empire or something like that.
Yeah. Like by the beginning of SWTOR, I mean the Sith Empire is really strong, but by the end, I say end, but by where SWTOR is currently in the story, it's not very strong at all. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the next few expansions, hopefully they get some, maybe they'll start getting into Knight Errant and talking about that, kind of connecting the two. Who knows?
Well, but mind you, by then, like most of the lords are long dead. It's all like whoever's left over, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, the Knight Errant stuff that's technically part of the new Sith Wars. So I guess that's why I kind of view it different, I guess. I don't know. But because the Old Republic, I mean, it's all divided up into different. It's different. The Old Republic has its own eras, right? You have the Great Hyperspace War, then you have the Mandalorian Wars, the Jedi Civil War, the Dark Wars, the Great Galactic War, the Cold War, the Galactic War, then the Third Galactic War, and the New Sith Wars, which has its own wars and stuff.
So many wars.
So,
Yeah, a lot of wars, no peace.
no peace.
Peace is a lie.
I guess that part of the Sith ideology is true. It's that there is no peace, especially in fucking Star Wars galaxy.
In a franchise called Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah. I need Abeloth in something again. I miss her.
Well,
Hey, guys,
from what I hear, because Maxine, you already read all of Fate of the Jedi, right?
You're.
Huh?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not spoiling it. I already know that they don't like they.
Wait, hold. Jason Solo did not.
I am aware that they did not defeat Abeloth.
Okay.
No,
Or
they
they-
defeat
quote,
her,
unquote,
but she's not.
They don't
completely
kill her.
dead.
They don't-
Yeah, they defeated her, but they didn't end her because they need the dagger or whatever.
Yeah.
The dagger
Man,
of
shut the
Mortis.
fuck up, Lance. Sorry.
Tenebrae.
Okay, I am of the opinion that Vitiate / Tenebrae is overrated as all fuck. So Sorry.
That
He
is
even
a-
played the
that is a-
games,
I
Max.
don't care. Abeloth clears easy. Sorry.
Okay.
If Darth
guys,
Krayt and
Goku
Grandmaster
Solos?
Luke Skywalker couldn't take her, then I don't think anybody can.
Actually, Goku
Well, the
Solo.
thing is, they could take her. They just couldn't like kill her.
Well, it was a big fucking struggle.
I'm not saying
I mean,
it wasn't, mind you. I know about the great struggle like that.
Yeah.
That they kind of had to jump into like a weird spiritual plane just
I mean,
to fight her.
Luke has like said so many times in the series that Abeloth's power far exceeds his own, and like Luke is the like most powerful Jedi Master to have ever lived. So like, you know,
all they need
Yeah.
is just a dagger, right? And it'll be much more easier.
well, that's a theory. They're not actually sure if that would kill her, but it's just like kind of a contingency they have.
Yeah, I guess they're just throwing the idea out there.
They're like, hey,
Okay.
we learned of this artifact that has killed Celestials in the past, and it could be used to get Abeloth in that same way. So, but, like the stuff with the killer,
I have my money on Tenebrae. Actually, no.
you're weird. You
Abeloth.
haven't even
Wait,
read
between
Tenebrae
Tenebrae and
literally-
Abeloth?
I think Abeloth is like isn't she like a celestial entity pretty much?
Well, Tenebrae like never won a single fight. Now that I'm thinking about it,
What
So
a
how,
bozo.
how the hell are you gonna say that he beats Abeloth?
I rethought no. Tenebrae I think is a better character, but
Obviously, you haven't met my bestie yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got the best
Yeah.
matchup. I got the who's the strongest like entity in the expanded universe?
Abeloth.
Okay,
Waru.
My money's on Waru.
okay,
Uh,
Waru and Abeloth versus Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni wins, clears it.
No.
He
Yeah,
just
Dave Filoni.
demonizes
Like
them.
Dave
I used the
Filoni.
dagger of Mortis to kill both Abeloth
Now,
and Waru. So.
Tenebrae is the strongest mortal.
No, because Dave Filoni has the retcon ability. He can just retcon them out of existence.
I retconned a way to kill Abeloth.
That's a pretty good
I
impression.
call it the cowboy hat of destiny.
The cowboy out of destiny.
Anybody who has the cowboy hat of destiny can defeat any dark side or force wielding deity.
He actually cried on stage at Celebration.
I
Did
saw
anyone
that.
see
I love
heard
how
about that.
he's like that scene in Revenge of the Sith where he's like, I love democracy. Wait, is that that's not Revenge of the Sith, is it?
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones.
I love
Yeah.
democracy.
Yeah, I love democracy. I love it. It's like him. I love the expanded universe.
I
Well,
love the
yeah.
expanded universe.
The
I love the
power
novels.
you give me, I will lay down when this crisis has abated.
Yeah, Dave Filoni. Yeah, he's gonna give up those emergency powers.
Yeah.
We are reorganizing the expanded universe into a new canon.
No, please.
We're on a way to make sure that Mr. Filoni gives power back to the fans. He won't give up his power.
I'm
The
just
fans
like,
will decide your fate. I am the. Fuck.
I am the canon.
I
I
am
think Dave Filoni is a Disney lord.
a Disney,
A
lord.
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 Hey, Disney-
Starring I don't know, like Matt Wilkins as Bail Organa.
Matt Wilson of Bel Organa.
What's going on here?
So this is how
What's going on here?
So this is how the expanded universe dies.
With thunder's applause.
Poor Maxine gets Padme roll.
No. I'll be fucking, I don't know, I'll be Yoda.
You'll be Yoda.
Yeah.
I think I just killed Commander Appo. No, there was like a Virgin Chad meme, and it was like Ahsoka telling Rex, "I won't be the one to kill him." And then Yoda, my kill count's like 37. I think I just killed
Yeah.
Commander Appo.
Yoda was like, "Fuck them guys."
Yeah. He pulled up to the Jedi Temple with Obi-Wan and he's just slaughtering them all.
Yeah,
Well, the 5 at first weren't his troops, so he didn't have any reason to value their lives.
true.
I love
fighting Supreme Overlord Shimra.
Oh my
And,
god.
and then Shimra's like, no man can kill me. And she's like, I am no man.
Oh my god. I swear, every time I like hear something like that, just do this like Guttural Abeloth screech.
What? I am no man.
Or no, not that. Like anything with like Ahsoka saying something cringe or like the heir to the Empire thing in the trailer. I just, you know.
See,
Does
the whole
Abeloth
thing.
scream sound like a Nazgul?
I would think.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, that.
I would think it sounds like a Nazgul, but not just outside, like inside your head too.
She's
Can,
my
my
she's
thing
my
with
girl.
the weird thing about that Nazgul screech is like it obviously it's realism, but like at the same time the sound design is fucking beautiful. And everything.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a
I think
scene.
Abeloth sounds like a zombie from The Walking Dead.
No, she doesn't. She can talk. Okay, she's intelligent.
I like how Max is just like the defendant.
She's my girl. I don't care. She's like in one of
Bro,
the
she
books. I think
sucks.
it's shut
She's
up.
bad.
You haven't even read it. Be
I
quiet.
think
You haven't
an
even finished
accurate version
Darkness.
of Abeloth's
So bad.
voice
She can't.
would be
She
like
can't even win against
Oh my
mortals.
god.
I'm gonna be honest.
Man.
I'm with Max on this one. Abeloth did nothing wrong.
She's
Thank you.
literally a Force god and can't win.
Lance, you haven't even read it. You haven't even finished Darkness. Jason Solo
but
has outread you.
You know I'm right.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
She lost.
No,
dude.
I think if
She
Abeloth
didn't
would
lose,
speak, she'd have
bruh.
multiple
She never
voices,
loses.
wouldn't she?
Huh?
Okay, so you know how like they have that effect for like certain characters in Star Wars when the character speaks, there's like 2 or 3 voices going.
Yeah,
at
like
once?
the echo. I figured she would probably have something.
She would have like 3 or 4 voices talking at once while she was saying
Yeah.
one thing.
Like one of them being like Callista.
Well, one would sound like Callista, one would sound like just a regular like soft woman voice. The other one would sound like a
That's-
really angry like.
That sounds scary as fuck though.
She's very scary, but she's my bestie, and she deserves
You know that reminds me about the Abeloth album that exists.
the what?
Album?
Okay, it's weird. So it's like this random artist made an album, right?
Mhm.
I think the album's name was just Abeloth, and then like each song in the album is a title or something related to Abeloth. One of them was it Queen of the Stars,
Beloved.
Bringer of Destruction. I can't remember the other one. I don't know how to describe the music. If it's not even really music, but it's an experience. I'll say that. Like, if it were to describe Abeloth, the music would describe Abeloth. I remember listening to that when I was like a new fan in the EU, and I was so confused.
I have to find this.
Yeah.
The songs are long. It's like one of them is like I think 10 or like 15 minutes, but it's like 3 songs in an album, and it's I don't know what kind of genre of music it is, but it's right.
It's 3
Is the
songs,
cover-
but the album is 30 minutes.
30
Yeah,
minutes.
Okay.
yeah. It's like is the album cover like some like I don't know fall something like in
I
a
think
forest.
it's like some sort of animal skull.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot what the artist's name was. It was like it was like a 4-letter.
It's a Snog.
Yeah. Okay, that's the right one. Okay, if you're gonna listen to it, I wish you the best of luck because
Oh,
it
man.
was something.
But in defense of Abeloth, okay, but she just wants a family and she just wants to be pretty, and like I feel that she just wants people to think she's beautiful. I'm like, I
Well,
feel
she's
you.
not, and she never will be.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Okay. I'm like reading it, and she was like, they kind of get into it, and I'm just like, girl, same. Like, I feel you.
I can fix
By
that.
the way, of all the people she wanted to be with Widower Luke.
Yeah. I
She's
support.
like, hey buddy,
women's
you're
rights.
single, I'm single. Want to hook up?
Who
We get to be Force gods.
can you blame her for like wanting to hook up with a single Luke though? Like,
No.
see,
She's like, I can see why Mara Jade liked you.
The more- The more y'all explain Fate of the Jedi and Abeloth, like I assume Abeloth is like a Lovecraftian like being, but the more you guys talk about it, she just seems like a desperate MILF.
I support women's rights here.
I feel like there's a meme waiting to be made about that.
Oh, I'm gonna make a lot of memes out of this.
I'm very excited for
Get
that.
on it. You have like a folder where you've compiled.
Hey,
all of them?
if Demon Deity Monster Girl wanted to spend eternity with me, I wouldn't turn it down.
Fair enough.
Same.
But yeah, Marcel. Most of my memes I actually delete because like since I make them on my phone, like I have a lot of storage and it just gets like piled up in there. So I did delete stuff. So like my account is like literally like where I have all my memes posted. So like all my memes from last year, like probably like 80% of them are not on my phone, but in the account. So I pray to God that Lucasfilm doesn't get angry at me for a post and they just delete like all my memes and stuff.
Oh gosh.
You better back that up before all those moments get lost to time like tears in rain.
I will.
I
will.
can't lose that Anakin Tahiri meme. I can't.
I think I still have that on my phone.
Okay. I fucking love that meme. I think that's my favorite one that you've ever done.
Lopsided. I'm like, are you on Facebook? But you're like Facebook, you boomer. But there's a Star Wars. I'm not part of it yet, but I'm thinking there's a Star Wars Legends memes page, and I think like Dylan is one of the guys who runs it.
I'm on there.
I feel like you should like contribute your stuff to them as well, even if you're not on Facebook, so that they could like get like a wider audience.
Yeah, I was considering that because was it Maxine reposted a meme? It was like, was it Natasha or how you pronounce it?
Dallas,
like
Dallas commandeered memes. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually looked it up today. I was kind of interested in that. I was like, should I download Facebook and join these, my fellow intellectuals?
I was actually, honestly, I was looking for a video clip for DBZ that I couldn't find, and in it, Vegeta says, like, he's wearing the pink shirt at the time. He says, like, you haven't had one useful thing to say since you got here. And I wanted to use it in the context of Borsphalia.
Failure.
I'm like, could you be quiet? You haven't had one useful thing to say since you got here. Like, just a way to tell him to shut up. Because I hate
Lance, what the fuck are you on about?
Lance, are you talking about Maxine?
What the hell?
Okay, yeah.
What do you mean?
Hey Max, are you an expanded universe Biggie?
What does that even mean?
Wait, what is Lance asking her?
Up for Abeloth? God. I support women's wrongs, especially if they're God forsaken.
Wait. You said women's wrongs?
Yeah.
I thought you said rights the entire time.
Man. I can't. I'm
Darth-phobia.
literally like the I don't know. What do they call it? Like the thing. I don't know.
What thing?
I'm like the antithesis of what most people think EU fans are. So
And what's that?
a trans EU fan.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing, Max. Because you like the quality Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
From the expanded universe, like, keep
Man,
in mind
shut
they're
up.
expecting most expanded universe fans to be like unapologetic toxic assholes. So
Nope.
like the fact that you exist, you're a fan, and it boggles their mind basically.
Yeah.
That's
I'm kind of in
That's such a
Lance,
weird
you are
narrative.
so obnoxious with these, John.
I go on Twitter and I see people who are not fans of the expanded universe, people who like the new stuff, and they call expanded universe fans like, oh yeah, they're like unhinged or something like that. I'm like, what are you talking about unhinged?
Dude, you wouldn't believe how many people I see, like, simping for some clone trooper, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you're simping for like a 13-year-old. Technically pedophilia.
I mean, Marcel, have you not met me, bro? I'm pretty unhinged.
Well,
Yeah.
I can see that.
Recently, in one of my
But you're on our side, Lance. So.
Yeah.
recently, in one of my like comic group chats on IG, this guy, we were talking about Star Wars, and he said, "What did he say?" He said the EU was an incoherent, non-canon mess. And I was just like, okay. I was gonna get mad. I was gonna say, okay, just elaborate. What the fuck that even means? So, and I was trying to, and I basically refuted his points because, to be honest, I don't really like debating these people.
You should not respond to that, or
there's
if
like
you do,
hundreds
respond.
of receipts, and there's like hundreds of receipts of people saying, yes, this was canon. Yes, I did like a bare minimum research thing, where like 3 different sources confirm. I'm just talking about like 3 regular everyday sources, like Google, Wikipedia, and Wikipedia all confirmed that the EU was canon. I wasn't like, I didn't even do deep dive research. I'm like, which means these people are too lazy to actually look it up, or they are being genuinely disingenuous.
No,
Yeah, but Nazo, there's people out there who think that the world is flat.
That's
yeah, there.
Oh, I know.
Despite like the thousands of receipts that say otherwise.
Yeah, no. The
People who have
person.
Well,
who
there was I've heard a joke about like one of the biggest flat earthers who went into. They actually let him go into space, and he saw that like the Earth was round, and naturally they jumped to the whole thought of like, oh, they got to him. I'm like, no,
What?
he just like he just saw it.
Yeah, like now this person who said that, like I told him to elaborate on what he meant by that, and I've kind of refused. We talked about it. He just doesn't. I don't think he's just ignorant on the topic. There's no like he's not being disingenuous. He just doesn't really know that much. So I was like, oh, okay. I can like help him understand. Like the EU had like a hierarchy of canon to it. It was canon that it like officially. I was trying to tell him about like, and then people say, "Oh, George Lucas said his movies are two different." I was like, "Oh, here we go."
You know what's funny
Yeah,
about
no,
the
they
hierarchy
always-
of canon? Wait,
What?
real quickly, Nazo. You know what's funny about the hierarchy of canon is that there was a tier called non-canon.
Yeah.
Yeah, people just kind of ignore that. But no, one of the things I kind of bring up to people who don't like know is just like again, like there's like most of the sources that they tend to go to half the time is like an interview by George Lucas. And
Yeah.
keep in mind that what a lot of people don't seem to understand is that George Lucas changes his mind on the fly.
Exactly.
So he's not necessarily. I know he's the creator, but he's not necessarily a reliable source.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that talk with Lucy Wilson? He was completely okay with Dark Empire, and then years later he met her again and was like, "Yeah, in hindsight, that wasn't really a great idea."
Yeah, like when it comes to what George says about the EU and the wishy-washy stuff, to be honest, I don't give a fuck because his actions and his contributions and him, looking stuff over and collaborating matters way more.
Here's the thing: like, if they say, well, George Lucas didn't consider it canon, so why should we? And I think, and the thing to myself, okay, so by your logic, and this comes also from my buddy Netcat, George Lucas says it's not canon. So by your own logic, George Lucas probably doesn't consider Disney canon.
Yeah.
So I guess that's
and then
not
they say,
canon
well,
either.
Lucasfilm considered, or Disney or whatever, Disney Lucasfilm considers it canon. I'm like, yeah, Lucasfilm considered the EU canon too. Gotcha, bitch.
Right.
Yeah, no, people
Gotcha,
don't
bitch.
want to hear that. They don't want
Gotcha, bitch.
You know what? And then I also say, like, I don't consider anything that you say to me canon. So there you go.
to.
Yeah, that's when you just gotta troll the fuck out of him.
Just say you're not canon.
Your life is not
No,
canon.
I mean, like Marcel. I loved his. I still love your Tales of the Jedi from back in the day. That video you did, just about how
Thank you.
involved George was with it via Lucy Wilson. I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, Zazene, the guy who was interviewed by Stevie recently, who has all this like info and does those infographics, said he liked that video. And I was coming from
Stevie's so dope. I love that guy.
he's the best.
He's so wholesome. He's so nice.
I saw
Love what you're doing there, man.
who you talking about?
Hey guys,
Stevie,
I'm gonna end the stream.
he's so cool. Shut up, Lance. You're not canon.
Lance,
Yeah, we don't recognize your words. It's not canon.
Lance is not canon confirmed.
Bye guys.
Good night.
I'm just kidding. No. Well, people
Really,
actually.
mother-
Yeah.
Anyway, good night, guys. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for
Good night.
joining.
Good night.
I'll see you
Bye-bye.
guys next time.
Universe forever.
I'll be making a lot of Thrawn related posts this month. This is the month of the original Thrawn, Motot. Never forget it.
Motot forever.
We're gonna keep that forever. Motot, Motot, Motot. Remember that. In fact, I'm gonna make a whole channel on my Discord, and we're gonna call it the Outer Rim.
Oh, that's
It could
right.
be
You're
the
back
outer-
on
call
the
it-
Grandmaster. No
Motot.
longer Grandmaster.
But we're gonna. It's all gonna be about Thrawn.
post
The heir to the
about
empire.
Thrawn in here because screw Disney Star Wars. Their Thrawn's fake. Ours is real. I'm done. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye bye.
And
I'm the most awkward
Good
human
night.
being on the face of the earth.
Good night.
What?